Stop trading Forex. Seriously, please, just stop. Why do hedge funds trade futures? And why do Instagram gurus still push Forex? You need to think about that gap. The smartest money in the world, billion-dollar funds, institutional traders. I can assure you they're not trading Forex. They're trading futures. Most videos on this topic are surface level. Forex has more liquidity. Futures has better regulation. These are just kind of vague statements. No proof and no real comparison. This video is going to be different. I'm going to show you side by side with transparency, volume data, execution, costs, leverage, regulation, prop firms, with real examples and real reasons why futures traders have a better edge. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly why futures trading beats Forex every single time. By the end of this video, you'll understand why professional traders always are going to choose futures. You're going to see the game Forex brokers are playing on you, and you'll never look at your Forex chart the same way again. My name is Chris Drysdale. I'm founder of the Drysdale Trading Group, and I'm the developer of the VWAP Wave Trading System, and I trade live each and every day on YouTube and through my private Discord community. So, with that being said, let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into the video.
Why do futures traders have the edge in 2026?
I see that many traders start in Forex, but they tend not to stay there. I'm going to show you why futures truly is the better game. It's just a better product, and how it changes everything for serious traders, particularly serious day traders. And we'll get right into it. All right, the difference between Forex and futures. All right, as far as volume goes, Forex, there is no centralized exchange and the volume goes unreported. In futures, everything is ran through a centralized exchange. It's fully transparent because everybody sees the same data and all of the volume is reported in real time. Okay, so we can see where the big players are getting in and out of their positions, the price level, and more. As far as execution goes, you're going through your independent broker, right? So there's really no true exchange. In futures, your broker is just facilitating the trade through the exchange, an exchange that everybody has to get to. So that's what makes the transparent data. So in futures, we use the CME, the NYMEX, ICE, etc. And then in Forex, there's really no order flow visibility. There's no tape or time in sales. So I can't actually see the orders processing in real time. There's no depth of market display. When I place my order in the futures market, I can actually see it on the bid or the offer or on the price ladder. It's really there. There's an actual times of sales of these orders actually executing. You also find that you're going to be overpaying with spreads in Forex. All right, Forex brokers have the ability to mark up the bid and ask. So you're going to get wider spreads, bigger slippage, and higher markups. And that's how they hide a lot of these costs and make you feel like you're not paying more because it's completely disguised in the spread. With futures, it's highly liquid and driven through a centralized exchange. So you're going to find very tight spreads, oftentimes a tick or two, and we pay that with the very low tick cost. In Forex, the commission structure is often baked into the spreads, also making you feel like you're getting a better deal, but that's not really the case. In futures, it's a clear and consistent price per trade. Futures are regulated by U.S. exchanges. Now, I know this is different for our international clientele. Some countries and unions have better regulations for Forex. But as far as futures goes, it's only regulated in the U.S. So we have the highest and stringent level of regulation. And since it is centralized exchange, it's much easier to regulate and manage as opposed to chasing around every single broker. Forex brokers are often offshore, loosely regulated, and your funds are better protected with futures. We have available to us institutional tools at a retail level access that are just simply not available on Forex. All right, this allows us to see where the big players are getting positioned and we can follow the big money. We have a volume profile to see the volume by price, and we are able to use a volume weighted average price to see the price almost every single institution is using as a benchmark to trade with. You can ask any floor trader at the New York Stock Exchange or any of these major currency exchanges and they will tell you that they're using the volume weighted average price to be able to gauge the position on an institutional level. In futures, this gives you all of that: the volume profile, the volume weighted average price, the depth of market display, time and sales, institutional level indicators that are just simply not available to a Forex trader on a retail level, right? There's no central volume and there's no real auction data with Forex. We also have smart leverage versus dangerous leverage. All right, in Forex, you'll see 50 to 1 or even 100 to 1. All right, that's almost a guarantee that you're going to lose your money, guys. I hate to break it to you. In futures, it's still highly levered, but a little more reasonable at 10 to 1 to 30 to 1. Right, a little easier to manage that risk without taking on too much size to easily blow the account. Right, Forex tends to encourage over trading because of that dangerous leverage, whereas futures allows you to scale in with your micros or limit yourself to micros and eventually work your way up to full-size mini contracts. As far as the prop firm industry is going, Forex is seeing a decline in prop firms. There's been a ton of scandals. The largest bust in U.S. history as far as prop firms goes was a Forex prop firm, not a futures prop firm. And why was it Forex? Because they were able to manipulate the data and trick customers because there's no centralized exchange, guys. You can't do that in futures. We all use the same data. I can easily pull up the data on an independent server and it will match my prop firm data to the tick. Can't do that in Forex. So the prop firm, for that very reason, the prop firm industry is exploding in futures, and numerous Forex firms are going out of business or being shut down, whereas futures is just seeing a growing level of prop firms enjoy the mix. And that's great for us because the more there are, this invites competition and better deals for us, the trader. All right. So the clear trend in prop firms is moving towards futures and away from Forex. Now, I know Forex is traded around the clock, but in futures, we still have 24/5 access with more structure. Okay, we have a clear open and close to our sessions for the ability to use an effective anchor for the volume weighted average price and the volume profile. Forex, really no centralized volume times based on an opening or a close. And because of this, we have better structure and therefore better setups in futures because of initial balance. We have a VWAP. And then we have ultimately a session bias because of this. Every tick matters in futures. All right, we work in tick-based markets, which gives us a lot more precision for our entries, which in turn gives us better trade journaling metrics and prop evaluation tracking. And tick size and point value are absolutely fixed. There is no guesswork. All right, it's consistent across the board. I'd like to do a quick pause here. If you're serious about becoming a consistently profitable trader and you want more than just free content, the Drysdale Inner Circle is where I work directly with traders at a much higher level. This is for traders who want structure, accountability, deeper system training, personalized feedback, and a real plan to improve, not just more random information. So if that sounds like you, be sure to get on the Inner Circle waitlist now. Spots are limited when I open it back up, and the waitlist gets first priority. Be sure to check the link in the description and put your name on it. So let's recap. Forex versus futures. When it comes to volume transparency, futures is the winner. Cost efficiency, futures is the winner. When it comes to regulation, futures absolutely comes out in front. With regards to the tools and edge we have, you have a better chance with futures. And leverage and safety is in futures. Now, we didn't even go into some of the things that are traditionally followed by some Forex brokers that are not using some of the higher regulations like B-booking or pocketing your order and never actually executing your order, taking the other side of your trade, anticipating that you're going to lose money. Forex has been known for that activity. They have tried to tamper that with more regulation. So if you're leaving Forex, if you're convinced, all right, here's how to start with futures, and you're not alone. I see thousands of traders worldwide are making the switch each and every day. So here is what you need to get started. What to look for in a futures broker. All right, this is, if you're US based or you're looking for an international friendly broker to trade US futures. Low latency execution, especially if you're a scalper. Affordable margins and competitive commissions. You can control a mini ES on the S&P 500 for $50 or a micro gold contract for $100, and you can pay as little as $1 per contract. You'll need global access to the CME and the other futures exchanges. And you can fund normally through a credit card, debit card, crypto, or international wire to make it easy to get your money in there. So if you're looking at a broker, here are some main brokers. I personally use Tradevate, which is also NinjaTrader. All right, no to low commissions, browser-based, US-based with a global audience. We have Edge Clear, low margin, great support, and accepts international clients. AMP Futures, popular globally, multiple platforms, and Iron Beam, solid for active traders and good for E-mini contracts. All right, there's tons of other brokers out there for futures depending on your country. Okay, so if you're not sure, be sure to jump into our free Discord and we'll get the conversation going, which makes the most sense for you. How much capital do you need to start? Well, with a broker, you're going to do a cash account. You'll need about $3,000 to $5,000 to trade E-minis responsibly, right? Or as low as $500 if you're looking to trade micro futures. If with a prop firm, you're only going to need about $100 to $300 to get started on an evaluation. And there's zero capital risk. Once you're funded, you're playing with the house account, right? You can even get a prop firm account for as low as $50, even less with Apex. So you can get started with very little money. That's going to be a separate video. Look for my Getting Started with Futures Prop Firms video for next steps if you want to start with a prop firm. I highly recommend Top Step. This is a company that's literally one of the first in the industry, globally trusted, intuitive rules, very simple. Apex Trader is nice for international clientele. They have regular discounts, highly discounted in fact, large community support. However, their payout rules have evolved and become more stringent over the years and a little tougher and confusing. There's Lilu trading, fast funding, great payouts, earn to trade, education heavy, good for beginners. And then there's others now to the mix, like My Funded Futures and Tradeify. I've heard all good things about. And here's a pro tip, all right? Trade micros to start, lower tick value, less stress, all right? So always start with the micros, even just start with one micro while you're learning. Okay, very important, especially with my system, the VWAP Wave strategy, where you're using VWAP, volume profile, initial balance. Be sure to check out my other videos for high probability setups in the futures market. Up next, check out my video with Getting Started with a Futures Prop Firm that will dive into the specifics, how to get started, and how to manage your prop firm accounts. If you're looking for a proven strategy in the futures market, be sure to join my free Discord. All right, the link will be in this description below. And I have a free setup guide for the VWAP Wave System strategy. All right, my 4 core setups that I trade live each and every day on YouTube and in the Discord. That will be in the link below as well. Good luck out there, traders. Stay sharp, manage your risk, and I'll see you in the Discord.